You're watching TVC Breakfast. Now, aging is a part of human life, with Nigeria being the populous country in Africa, there is a growing number of people aged 60 years and above. The elderly face a lot of challenges like risks of contracting a disease, discrimination or social isolation, and sometimes abandonment. While elderly persons tend to be less active, frailer, many depend on their loved ones for proper care and attention in order to ensure a healthy living. Joining me in the studio to discuss more about caring for the elderly is founder of Yinka Kenny Girls Care Foundation, Yinka Kenny. It's good to see you this morning.
My pleasure. Good morning.
How imperative is it for us to take care of the aged?
Yes, I would say that first off, because every one of us, we wake up in the morning, we get closer to the grave. And as we get closer to the grave, we get closer to the old age, at which what you and we do today, at some point in life, we might not really be able to do that again. But in this part of the world, we see that overseas, you see that they have a lot of programs, they have a lot of homes, they have plans for the aged people. Even while they are working, there are some things that they have put in place. And when I'm working as a young person, I have the assurance that when I'm old and I cannot move about, my future is secured. But what is the story in this part of the world? It's just unfortunate that in government is not really looking their way. Well, we could have some lay down rules, some lay down laws, but how are we implementing it? Yes. What about talking about the aged homes? How many aged homes do we have that is being run by the government? Unfortunately, the ones that is being run by individuals, they are almost overwhelmed. And how much care do they have? These people, unfortunately, even let's talk about, getting their pensions. Yes, kudos to Lagos State government. In the recent times, they are trying, their possible best. But what happens in other parts, of Nigeria? Even in Lagos State, what is the process like? Some time ago, before, thank God, COVID came, and we started using other means, of getting these people to get their pensions. There was a time that somebody went for, because of the cumbersome process of getting the pension and all of that, on his way back, he collapsed and died. So to what end? These are people that have served the country, served the nation. At the end of the day, they are pensionable. Some of them are pensionable. At the end of the day, they tend not to get their pensions. What happens to those that are not even pensionable? There are 1,001 elderly people out there that, unfortunately, they belong to that average community that they could barely eat, even at the point in time when they even had the strength to do it. They begin to grow, they grow up, they have children. I've mingled with a lot of elderly people that you find out that their child, perhaps their girl child, and even their grandchild still depends on them. At the end of the day, these people, they are exposed to sexual assault. These people, they are exposed to violence. I have seen some time ago, about 6 years ago, when we started our organization, I came up because in Yinka Kenny Girls Care Foundation, we cater for the feminine gender from cradle to grave. So we had an event for the teenage girls. A girl walked up to me and she cried bitterly, said to me she never knew a mom, that she lives with her grandma, that her grandma is subjecting her to sleep with a man so that the man can pay so that she can go through school. It was so unfortunate. That was what gave us the vision to let's go out and begin to see to whatever we can do for these elderly people, because you find out that unfortunately they still, even in their old age, they still have people depending upon them. And because of at times frustration, because of at times being helpless. They find themselves doing things, subjected to things that ordinarily they wouldn't have done. And at the end of the day, who is the little ones get, you know, they are the endangered species. So that's why we try in our own little way, you know, to go out, you know, give food items to these elderly people. And, you know we cannot be there for everybody 100%, but we try to touch the lives of the few people we can. And we try to do this during the festival period. Like Easter is coming, where next week Friday, we will be giving out foodstuff, you know, to a group of elderly people. Now, why do we want to do it during this festival period most of the times? Because we do not want them to be left out. You realize that when they were young, they partook in all of this. They made the food, they made the meals and all of that. But now in their old age, most of the times they are being left out. Then we say, okay, let's make them feel, you know, wanted. Let's make them feel as if, yes, some people still recognize them. And also, we also try to encourage people, you know, give people orientation. You realize that sometimes you walk on the street, you see an elderly woman, she's just there walking loose and everything, and probably she's suffering from dementia. You see you see people, the cultural belief, they say, oh, she's a witch, oh, she's this, she's killed all our children. She's, for crying out loud, she could have, you know, maybe in her younger days had some medical issues. Unfortunately, she lost all her pregnancy. Unfortunately, she didn't have children that would take care of her even in this old age. And unfortunately, depression set in, the dementia set in, and she's there on the street, and some person out there is saying, oh, she's a witch, she's done this and all of that. We need people to be, you know, given orientation on how to cater for these elderly people. For crying out loud, these people, they have worked all their lives in their early stage in life.
Right.
Why would they suffer?
It shows very much that you're so passionate about this, and every one of us pray to, you know, to grow old. So why is it that people don't really know this? That's one. And two, where I want you to really speak to is that there is little to what your organization can do.
Exactly.
You know, you're doing something this Easter, doing something at the end of Ramadan, and so on and so forth.
Exactly.
But what have you been doing, or what actions have been taken by the like of you to help the government, or to sensitize the government, which they are supposed to be doing, that this is very sacrosanct?
Trust me, when we started doing this some 6 years ago, I approached, you know, some local government chairman, and you see the bureaucracy. They'll tell you, okay, go to the women leader, go to the this, go to the, before you know what is happening, they waste all your time. And at the end of the day, you end up not doing anything for anybody. So, you know, at that point, I got discouraged. A partner of mine also made an attempt. We got discouraged. Yeah. Now, recently, because we have been doing this, you know, constantly, we have been consistent with what we are doing. The elderly people in the community where I do reach out to, they, you know, sometimes last year, they insisted that, okay, let's go back to our local government chairman. You see, you know what he said to me when I had, you know, reluctantly, because I was just reluctant. At this point, I will say a very big thank you to individuals that have made this possible, because I have friends, I have family, I have colleagues that, you know, they have been, you know, believe in this, they sow into this, and they make this happen every 3 months. You see, we went to the local government chairman, and what he said to me, he said, you are non-governmental organization. He said, what does that mean? Government doesn't have to support you. I said, okay, so what are you doing? Okay, we will do something. I said to the elderly people, he said he will do something. So the ball is in your court to see him. So you see, that is our reality. Right. That is where we find ourselves, unfortunately, in this time and in this season.
I wish we have enough time to talk about it. You're so passionate about this, and I know that you know, oftentimes we continue to talk about this and see how we can help the aged, because we are going there too, whether we like it or not.
Exactly.
Yeah. So thank you very kindly, founder of Yinka Kenny Girls Care Foundation. Yinka Kenny, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.